Hey everybody, I am back on YouTube and I'm gonna do hashtag Ask Lauren. I had asked these questions actually, how long ago did I do this? July 7th, 2022. I said I'm gonna do an Ask Lauren and I never did it. So I'm gonna answer the questions from this post that I put on my YouTube channel. I got a lot of comments, like 50 or so. So I'll just go through them and answer these questions. I want to preface this by saying, okay, I am in a new kitchen. I'm shooting in front of the window because it's raining out today and the light is nice here. I'm in a new kitchen. I moved again. If you want to know what is going on in my life, you have to become a member of Eat It by Hot for Food. This is my members only platform. It's a members only blog that I've had for 2 years. That's where I put exclusive recipes up. But this particular issue that I just released is called the life-changing issue of Eat It by Hot for Food, and it'll fill you in on what's going on. It'll show you my move. You'll see my baby. You will get caught up on all kinds of things. I'd have some other fun segments with some special guests as well. So it's more of a lifestyle issue, and I hope that you check it out. You can sign up to become an annual member and get access to all of the content that I've released on the member platform for $41.50 for the year. That'll give you access to everything, all the recipes. There's also a big giveaway every issue, so we have a giveaway going on this issue, which you'll find out when you sign up. Or if you want to just buy the issue only, just one issue, it's $12.99 for a single issue, and that'll give you access to watch all of this content that I otherwise would have put this content on this channel, but I decided to do it for the members only. Obviously I'm trying to generate memberships. Come along for that ride. But I do intend on coming back to YouTube. I don't know really what my posting schedule will be like, but I'm starting with this Ask Lauren and we'll go from there. I also just made my lunch. What am I eating, you ask? Oh, it's the spicy lentil wrap from Trader Joe's with a little side of tahini dressing here. I like to heat it up in the pan, get it crispy. The first question from Kate said, how are you feeling physically and mentally these days? What would you like your future to look like? Now remember, this was asked back in July 2022 when I had a 3-month-old baby, or a 4-month-old baby. So we'll just bring it back to right now, which is April 2023. I'm feeling great physically and mentally these days. I have now a 12-month-old, or almost 12-month-old, almost 1-year-old. And I think that I have done very well physically and mentally, considering I have a newborn infant. And considering all the life changes that have just been going on, I feel relieved. I feel good. I'm ready for change. I feel like a new door has opened. I feel ready and eager. What the heck? I just noticed that I'm spam replying to everybody in this post. What the hell? I've been hacked. Okay, so there's not one question, but multiple questions about motherhood. Generally, like, how do you find being a mother? How are you finding motherhood? What's the transition be like? And do you miss your pre-mother life? That general topic. So I will say that I'm so glad I changed my mind about having a child. It's what everyone says, which I didn't believe before I had a kid. Everyone says it's the best thing ever. It's life-changing. Like, you're gonna love this human so much like you love nothing else. Like, all the things people say about having a kid, I feel. And I didn't believe I could feel that or would feel that, and I was really nervous about that. I luckily didn't experience any like postpartum depression or anything like that, and I know that that is very common and can happen a lot, so I feel lucky that that didn't happen. I feel like I had a really good experience. I had a planned C-section, which in my personal life, in my personal, I guess, in my brain, that was what I needed. It happened because I had a larger baby and I had gestational diabetes. I'm a little bit older, so that's why they recommended it. I talked to a lot of people, including my mother, who had a C-section. She had 2 C-sections, and I got a lot of good feedback about a C-section. I personally wasn't precious about experiencing vaginal birth, so in the end I'm just glad that it was like planned. Nothing went wrong. It wasn't an emergency C-section. I just feel like it was a very calm experience, and I don't regret like not feeling what a vaginal birth is like. That's just me. Everyone is different, of course, but I feel like it all went really well. Of course there was like I mean, again, you kind of get amnesia and you forget a lot of what happens, because I think you're left with, if you're lucky, you're left with a very positive feeling and experience and memory of it, probably so that you do it again and it's like a biological thing. But it doesn't make me want to have another child. I only want to have one, mainly for like financial reasons, and like I just think having a second one is too much. It's too much for me, it's too much for the planet, it's too much money, all these things. So and I don't want to be pregnant again, I can tell you that. Being pregnant wasn't really fun. I didn't enjoy it until the kind of the last trimester, and I only enjoyed it for like a little bit. So I don't know, I have found it to be, I love my baby and I love being a mom, and I feel like I really just like got it, like I naturally fell into it. I guess like that motherly instinct came very natural to me. I just sort of, I don't know, I just got into it. It was like survival mode, but it was also very intuitive. I feel like it really suits me. This is gonna sound weird if you're having a difficult time with it or whatever, but for me, again, this is just me, I would say that it's like not that hard, or have found it to be not as hard as I guess everyone made it seem to me ahead of time, or the kind of resistance and kind of pressure that I would put on myself about it when I was like always contemplating if I should ever have a kid, and be like, I would never have a kid, it's obviously way too exhausting, too hard, like why would anyone do that? Like that's what I used to think. And I guess it was just so extreme that like my expectations were so low that what's actually happened has not been like that. And I find I do that. I always like prepare for the worst, and then it ends up being not that bad. So then in my mind I'm like, oh, this is actually really great and surprising. I'm like that with everything, and this is no different. Yeah, I love it. It seems to just be like a natural fit, a natural evolution for me. You know, my baby is only just turning a year in the middle of April. So there's still so much more to come. And when I say it's not that hard, I just feel like there's obviously been challenging parts, but overall, I guess just the love and satisfaction and purpose, and there's just so much more positive that outweighs any challenging moments. So I feel like I have a pretty good outlook on it for now. Again, who knows what will happen. He's not even walking yet. Sarah says, what are your priorities now that you are a mom, and what would you give as advice for someone who wants a family? I don't know. I don't have advice for someone who wants a family. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's such an individualized experience and choice, and it doesn't feel right to like tell anybody like, because it feels so magical to me, like you should do it and don't miss out on that. It's like I friggin' stressed about whether or not I should have a baby. Like I felt like there was a biological clock ticking aspect that everyone talks about. I felt that for a number of years and ignored it and denied it and resisted it and really convinced myself I wanted to be child-free, when really it was just a lot of fear. So I'm glad that like spiritually, whatever, I overcame that sort of block within me, because now I can't imagine my life not without my child. If you want a family, you just need to decide for yourself this is something you want, and you're willing to go down that road and accept whatever challenges come your way. And I don't know, I don't really know what else to say. I don't think I have anything deep or profound to offer. And now my priorities as a mom, I just feel like you really do, like I'm a workaholic, and work was always like my baby, and I put everything into that passion or this passion, and whatever I did for work, I put 150% into, and so having a child is no different. And I feel like having the child just makes everything else seem way less important. Like the importance that I placed on my career and my job aren't as strong, but I still care about it. And like I'm shifting into, and I'm in this period right now where I'm trying to get back to work and try to find myself again within that space. And I'm excited by the possibilities of having free time. Like my child is in daycare now 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, so I have a lot of time now to do me. And I need to, because I need to provide for my son. So there's also a pressure for that. And now I'm a single mom, so the pressure's even more so. So I'm feeling that. But it's not that I don't want to get back to work. I actually do. But I'm also having somewhat of an identity crisis, a little bit. And I'm sure that will continue for some time because I'm just different now, and I've grown in a different way, and I'm older, and I have a child, and it really does just shift everything. It shifts the importance of things, or the lack of importance on certain things. And so, but I like it. I like what is kind of going on within me because of having a child. Okay, Sam says, please talk more about the cost of giving birth in the US if you feel comfortable. I did post an IG story about my hospital bill, which was over $33,000. This is so important to share considering the times we're living through right now. I had no idea the cost of giving birth was so outrageous. Truly insane. Okay, so to clarify, I did post the bill that I got from Kaiser Permanente, that's my insurance company, and it showed everything, and it showed the cost of everything, and I think it was like between 33 and 39,000. I did not actually pay that. That was what the insurance covered, almost all the cost of that. All I ended up paying for in the end was $500 a night for the hospital room. So I paid $1,000 for that. And then any little sort of $15 co-pays for my appointments and blood work and whatnot leading up to or during the pregnancy. And I didn't keep track of those receipts, so I don't know how much. So in the end, I didn't really spend that much, unless you count for the fact that I'm actually paying for insurance every month. And that has been about, I think it was like $550 a month since I lived in LA. And it's gone up to over $800 a month now with the baby added onto the plan. So that's a lot of money, especially when you're a Canadian and you don't have to pay for healthcare. But now that I live in the States, I do. So obviously making the choice to live in the States, I knew that I would have to do this, and I wouldn't have moved here if I couldn't make that work. So I am fortunate. Now, I don't actually know the whole system and how it works because it's very confusing, and it took me a while to figure it out, but I found good insurance, and I even switched my insurance to a better plan when I found out I was pregnant, because I knew I didn't want to have to pay for a bill that was that high. I think this is different for everybody because I've heard all kinds of different numbers ranging from $15,000 to $80,000 for giving birth to a child. And obviously if there's complications, then your bill is going to be even higher in longer hospital stays, or if there's a preemie, etc., etc. So I didn't have any additional emergency things to worry about. So I can only speak to what mine was, and it is shocking to see a bill like that, but then it's also a relief to be like, oh great, my insurance covered that. I'm terrible at math, so like what have I spent on insurance? A lot. So I've spent under 20 grand on insurance over the last 3 years, like 17 grand on insurance. So that's kind of crazy when I come from a country where you don't have to pay that at all. So again, these are the things you have to consider when you decide you want to move. But obviously, like, not everyone can just pick up and move to the States. You have to pay for a visa, a work visa, which you have to pay lawyer fees for, and you have to pay for the petition, and there's like a lot of costs involved in making that life choice. And I knew that going into it, and I was in a position to do it at the time. And now it's been about sustaining that while I'm here. And for sure, like, the pressure is real of the expense of a child and living here where the cost of living is high, and the pressure to maintain a certain level of business, a certain income in order to sustain that. So that's where I'm at. Also, I haven't been working as much as I used to before I moved to LA because I got pregnant and had a baby. And so, but anyways, I've managed to still do it, and I plan to continue to. I don't want to leave here. I like it here. I want to live here. He was born here. He's starting daycare here. So all signs point to staying here for the foreseeable future. Someone, D said, I've always wondered what it would be like to be vegan during pregnancy. Can you share your experience? Were you persuaded or encouraged to eat meat by medical staff? Did you get help from a nutritionist? Do you ever wonder if the baby would be impacted by eating vegan? Okay, so I'm vegan. I've been vegan for a long time. Obviously, I was going to be vegan during pregnancy. It wasn't even a thought to not be. I never felt like I was lacking anything. I did get gestational diabetes, which was just due to my age, possibly my mixed race, and not because of my diet. And I just maintained it with diet and exercise so that my levels of insulin didn't go too high, and then it wasn't a risk for me or the baby. Now, they say that my risk of getting type 2 diabetes is much more increased because I've had gestational diabetes. I kind of think it's a crock that the fact that I'm vegan and eating vegan actually reverses type 2 diabetes is like, I just don't see myself getting diabetes because I'm vegan. So I didn't really think any different about how I eat being pregnant versus not being pregnant. There were certain cravings I had as a pregnant woman. I, you know, still wanted to eat sweets, which I did. I did stop drinking caffeine because I started getting nauseous very early in my pregnancy and I didn't want to drink coffee. And since I've actually started drinking coffee, I started drinking coffee once the baby was born. Even though I'm breastfeeding, I just have 1 cup a day and it's not affecting him and it's fine. So I did go back on the coffee, and I think when you're a new mom, it's kind of necessary. And it's one of the things I look forward to every day, just like I did before when I drank coffee and I didn't have a baby, but even more so now. And then as far as the baby, he's starting to eat solids. He started around 6 months and he's vegan. And oh, and no medical staff said anything to me about being vegan during pregnant or feeding my baby vegan. No one's said anything that like dissuades me or is trying to dissuade me. They know and they have said that you can raise a perfectly healthy baby on a vegan diet. You know, he's only been eating solids for about 6 months. He's still primarily breastfeeding. So I think as we move into the 12 to 18 month mark, we'll be weaning off the breast milk maybe. I don't actually know. It'll kind of depend on what he wants, my supply. Like maybe we'll just still do night feedings. I don't really know. I've been supplementing with a postnatal multi and high dose iron and omegas. And that's all and the B12 that I normally take, and that's all I've been taking, which that supplement works for him too through the breast milk. He also gets baby D drops. I don't know, it's been fairly simple. Like it doesn't have to be complicated. If you're vegan and you've been vegan for a while and you're comfortable with that lifestyle, I don't see why you would change when you're pregnant or for your children. So that's just me, and it's just what I'm gonna do. And it's really important to me to raise him vegan and encourage him to understand why he should eat that way. So I will be doing that. What's been my favorite part of parenthood so far? Asked Elise. I think it's just the actual baby. I mean, I don't know. I do like caring for him. I like being nurturing. I like caring for him. I like having a purpose, which is to keep him alive and keep him safe. He's adorable. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with his toes and his feet and his nose and his little ears and his belly and everything. And I just think that's the best part. Like, I can just stare at him all day long and I'm like so overjoyed and entertained and in love. And like, when I'm not with him, I'm staring at pictures and videos. And like, even when he's in the room, I'll be looking at pictures and videos, like then being like bewildered why I'm looking at that when he's right there. So I don't know, the obsession is real. That's been my favorite part. Everything else is just tasks you do and things you endure and you just do it. I don't know, like I guess I don't overthink it either. I didn't do a lot of like, I wasn't like super anal and super like research based or anything. I just sort of do what I feel. And I think that the way I've moved into being more intuitive and stuff like that was preparing me for motherhood in a way that I didn't know, because I haven't been like a worrying mom. Like I just trust what's going on. I trust myself. I have way more confidence like in this than I have ever in anything that I've done. So that to me is like fascinating, and also I'm fortunate that I feel that way, that that's what's happening, because I know that's not the case for everybody. So I can only speak for myself, but I'm just grateful that that's sort of been what's been happening. Oh, here's a good one. Whatever came of the licensing project proposal that you talked about in your Vegas vlog back in 2018? Okay, so yes, I have been exploring trying to license my recipes to brands to manufacture products, consumer product goods, CPG they call it. And I've worked with 2 different organizations to do that. I'm with somebody currently. And it's been tough. I think I thought there'd be more scores, whatever, like actual interest than there has been. It's been a little difficult. Maybe I don't have the right people doing it. I don't really know. But we do have something in the works. There's one product in the works that I can't talk about details yet, but something is in the works, and I hope you'll be excited about it, and I hope I can talk about it soon, hopefully sometime a little bit later this year, so stay tuned. That's not to say I'll only have one product, because the idea is to do multiple deals like this and have lots of things on the shelf, but we'll see where it goes. Will I be moving back to Canada? No, I answered that. Are you going to put free content out on the internet? What's your take on putting out free content? I still put out free content, and I have been, even though I do the member blog, Eat It by Hot for Food, but my focus has been the member blog because these people are paying members, and that's been a way for me to feel like I'm being compensated for the work that I do. And then of course my time has just been restricted being pregnant, being a mom, and I do intend to come back to that more, so don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the channel because I will be here posting content. And that is the end mostly of the questions. I skipped over some, but mostly you guys were asking the same questions. So thank you for posting those, and thanks for watching #AskLauren. We'll do this again. Leave more questions below. And if you want to see what's really going on and you want more insight into my life right now and the changes that have happened, and you want to see like a grocery haul, a aesthetic fridge video, you want to see like my whole move and like what happened, you got to become a member of Eat It by Hot for Food. So the link is below if you want to sign up, and I would appreciate it if you do. And there's so many perks to being a member, like automatically being entered into a huge giveaway every single issue, and I release 4 issues a year. Lots of recipes in the archive that you can make and explore. There are also member discounts for Hot for Food approved products every issue. You get added to my close friends list, which you get to see behind the scenes and get to contribute to the issues. Like I did an all recipe request issue last issue. So you only get all the perks if you become an annual full member. So click the link below and sign up, and I will see y'all very soon, I promise.